Get close to almost done. I've been at it for almost an hour and a half since I started, and it's been really cool. And it's the coolest bit of exercise I've done. Good swim, a barefoot walk, back, finish it off with a swim. Okay, now this is Richard Nikoley, freetheanimal.com. I'm in the middle of an excursion, a barefoot walk, and with snorkeling. Not snorkeling, swimming this time. Last time was snorkeling. It is Christmas Eve here in Thailand. Christmas Eve day, I should say, the 24th. December, new challenge. So same basic route as last time. Gonna be down from, I'm on Naiharn at the north end or northwest end, and going to go to Yanui Beach and walk back. Total of 4.5 kilometers. This time, whereas I walked the beach before and then got in the water and swam around to or snorkeled around. This time, using my fins and a swim mask, breaststroke. So this time, I'm going to start in the water. I'm going to go directly to Yanui Beach. So I'm going to cut straight across. I look at. So from right here, I'm going to cut straight across to the point right here, and then just around there is Yanui Beach. Total, I did measure the distance, almost exactly 1 kilometer, and then I will barefoot it up over the hill to the windmill right there, and back down this way and around, and then get back in the water and breaststroke it back to here. So it'll be 3 kilometers barefoot walking and 1.5 kilometers swimming. All right, let's see how it works. So I've just completed about a kilometer. Now, there's where I came from. Boom. So let me introduce that to you more formally. Anyway, what I want to talk about today, I alluded to it in my last one, talking about Twitter and you know, the FBI's involvement, and, you know, what that means for people. So today I saw this really great meme. It kind of encapsulates it for me, and it was a juxtaposition. So it was the top was Donald Trump's State of the Union address with Nancy Pelosi ripping it, the courtesy copy she was giving, ripping it up at the end of his speech, right in front of the cameras, like real. People say I mispronounce pueril. I don't. It's a fucking French word. It's pronounced pueril. So fuck off. So it's not puerile. It's pueril. Anyway. So she did that. And then below it is that Ukrainian fucking whore, Zelensky, who plays a piano with his penis on live TV. Who shows up in America, the White House, in a fucking hoodie or whatever the fuck, and then he gives a State of the Union, and not a State of the Union, he speaks before a joint session of Congress in a fucking t-shirt with a Rolling Stones thing on it. What a fuck. What a disrespectful fuck. And afterwards, Like they're just fawning over him, and everybody presents him a flag sign. I mean, it is like, I looked at that. I said, America's hopeless, fucking hopeless, fucking hopeless. It's irredeemable. You see something like that, just unbelievable. It makes me cheer for Russia just moving west, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not a big particular fan. I don't even much care for it. There's tons and tons and tons of Russians here in Thailand. It's the biggest concentration of tourists is the Russians right now in Thailand, because from what I hear, it's the only place that's really convenient for them to go is Turkey and Thailand. Other places have restrictions because of the stupid war, you know. They're just Russian citizens. They have nothing to do with it. That's evil in itself. So anyway, but as a people, man, it's tough. Now, you know, exceptions disprove the rule, so it's not a rule. I mean, I just sold my old MacBook Air last night to a Russian guy who drove all the way down. Vasily, nicest guy. And I used to live next to Konstantin in another place. Super nice guy. So, you know, don't paint with too broad a brush. But most dealings are not good. I mean, they're surly, they're narcissistic, they're presumptuous, it's weird. They delusions of grandeur, and it's in their face, written on their face. They do not give a fuck about you or anybody, any other human, if you're not Russian. They just as soon spit on you. I'm fucking serious. You know, sometimes you'll greet them, they'll act like you don't even exist, won't even say hi. They always stick to themselves. You're not Russian, you're not shit. So fuck Russians. Yeah, you Russians in Hawaii, fuck you. So anyway, but it's just diversion. So you know, I'm thinking, but anyway, on the Russia, just goes to show you how you know, almost a century worth of hard communism will destroy civil society and civil mentality. You know, just a golden rule, do unto others sort of thing. You know, I've heard people that have dealings with them, and they have no qualms about fucking you over in a deal. No qualms whatsoever. And again, there's exceptions, but by and large. So anyway, so I have the camera weird like this because of the fucking sun. Man, it's so nice to have it, because for so long it was just crazy. Let's see if I can do it this way. Meme or whatever. Just so irredeemable. And I got to thinking about it, and it's like there's just no end. You can't vote your way out of this thing. And I'm like, okay. So I live in Thailand now. Thailand is an interesting story. We in the West, we have our, you know, checks and balances, balance of power. We tend to think of that in terms of an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. Hopefully you know your civics. I'm not going to explain it to you how that works. If you don't, do remedial civics. So many people who have no idea. It's amazing. That's another problem. So but if you were in Thailand and you were learning civics, you'd have a far different story. Now, Thailand is a monarchy, Now it's not like the British monarchy, that it where the monarch is the king or queen, is largely a figurehead, you know, tradition, the royals, so on. It's part of their, but has no, I think it has a little bit of political clout, influence, for sure. But Thailand is different. The king is tantamount to a fourth branch of government. So you have the executive, which would be the prime minister, president, the legislative, you know, the lawmaking body or bodies, and the courts, judicial. But there's one more. Thailand has another one. That's the military. Now, the monarch and the military aren't formal branches of government, but if you study it, if you study it, I've read some books, and one of them I read was, the name escapes me, but he's an Australian, he was the Australian ambassador to Thailand for a good long time, and that's how he explained it. He says, got to look at it as 5 branches of competing, government competing for influence, and that is that's the 3 that we're used to, and the monarch, the king or queen, and I don't know if Thailand's ever had a queen other than being the husband of the king. Anyway, that would be something to look into. And then the military has real clout and political. In fact, the current government is a result in, believe it was 2009. It's about 11 years ago, of a military takeover of the last government and a new constitution and so on and so forth. They've had a number of them since it was 1932 when the king gave up his absolute monarch status. And since then, I believe there have been 9 new constitutions, 9 coups, if you will. So the military has real power. But they seem to always give it back to once it's like, oh, this is all fucked up, and they redo the government. But the life in Thailand goes on. I mean, it doesn't change. That's what I love about it. It's conservative. I mean, I tell you, I am more and more appreciative of let's call them broadly stated spiritual values, you know, be it religion. Yeah, well, it's religion, basically. I mean, broadly stated, even though things like Buddhism and Shintoism and Hinduism and all those are the Eastern contemplative, are more thought of as contemplative and, you know, old wisdom, a lot of ancestor worship, or you know, spiritual leader worship, things like that. But you know, essentially, it's all the same thing, and it's conservative, right? That's what's cool about it. I was telling somebody, you know, I was in Thailand 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and some of those years twice. Total about maybe 6 months in country in that, you know, almost 5 years. And then I was gone for 30 years. 1990 was or actually it was early 91, was the last time I was here. And and I got back here in early 2020, the first time, so it was 29 years roughly since I'd been here. And nothing had changed, not really. I mean, everybody still is very respectful of their king and the Buddha, and you know, the whole everything, the temples and the monks and everything. And if that's what it takes to keep a society grounded in something and stable, and not go so far as to say, well, shit, gotta let boys and girls, can't wait and call them boy or girl. Gotta wait until they decide whether they're a boy or girl. Fuck off. Ugh. People laugh about that shit especially in Asia. Especially in Asia. Asia's conservative. Asians are conservative. I am in the right place in the world right now. I did an email to my ex-wife, Beatrice, right? We're chatting back and forth. People think, oh, we must hate each other. Hell, she's always asking me about my girlfriends. I have 2 new pictures to send her. Both 27. So, anyway, I was telling her, I said, I just don't really have much interest. You know, and I know it sounds like, oh, that's easy for you to say. You're just saying that because you live in Thailand and no, it's not. I see the difference, and I see that people in Asia and even Russia, you know, just aren't going for this woke bullshit, you know, taking your kids to like what are they, you know, the tranny shows or whatever the fuck, that kind of disgusting shit. Critical race theory in school, and the state of the teachers. They're teaching your kids, and they aren't fit to fetch your fucking mail. God. And I'm like, sorry, I just don't have it for America. I don't wish its demise. Though there's no getting around with facing the consequences of your actions, you know. And it was set up to fix shit when it's done, but there's no will, there's no courage, right? And the seconders, you know, the Second Amendment times are really the biggest joke in maybe all of human history. Big joke. I mean, what a laugh. What a laugh those fucks are, right? I'm not gonna, you know what I mean. Connect the dots. So, you know, if you really are honest, you really look at it, you compare a country like this, you know, where men are men and women are women, and even the damn ladyboys know their place. Yeah, no, it's live and let live. It's live and let live, but you won't find a ladyboy in any position of any authority whatsoever. They're service workers, both, you know, bars, restaurants, coffee shops, all that sort of, all service stuff. Right? And they're good. They're competent. I've often said, just like if you go to the men's Macy's on Union Square in San Francisco, it is the best Macy's ever. I mean, the staff, as far as I know, are 100% gay guys. But man, do they run a nice men's department store. So, yeah, you know, service businesses like that, perfect. You know, you know, it's just, it's their thing, right? And, you know, of course, there's a sex worker part of it too. You know, whatever. But But, you know, the ladyboy thing has been a part of their culture for a long, long time. But it's not political at all. It's not political. There's nothing political about it. There's no, like, you know, LGBTQ alphabet. The joke was that before long, it's going to be too long for a tweet. Because a tweet is limited to, what is it, 240 characters. So, anyway. But, you know, I like the conservatism. I like it when good things don't change. You know, progressive. Think about that term. Progressive. You know, progressive. Wait, it's a euphemism for what? For, you know, doing a bunch of shit that changes through history and culture what we know to be good. What has advanced us? Progressive. Progressing where? Well, look at America. Look at Western Europe. Progressing to shithole. That's what it is. Shitholes. America's a shithole. Western Europe is a shithole. And you know it if you're honest. You ain't voting your way out of it. And that's the point. Maybe it would be better. Maybe it would have been better to have a king and a strong military. Oh, oops, wait. Now the American military is fucking woke. I'm ashamed to call myself a former US Navy officer. Fuck. Yeah. And we kicked out gay guys. Sure did. Oh well. The other, democracy. You know what democracy is a euphemism for? The more stupid and more gullible, the better. That's what it is. The more stupid and the more gullible, the better. There's democracy for you. Bring on the king. Bring on the king and the church. Bring society back to proper values that constitute a man, a woman, their children, boys and girls, each doing their roles according to their gender, and they are taught what those roles are, and they are encouraged to perform in them. Boys should be boys and girls should be girls. And if they're confused, who in the fuck cares? They're kids. They're stupid. Just wait. The social pressure will hit them too. Oh my God, well, what if he's a girl at heart? Don't fucking care. Then he goes through life saying, oh God, I wish I was a girl, but I gotta be a man because I'm a man. Such self-indulgence. So, yep. There you go. So you got man, woman, husband, wife, children, boys and girls, community, other families of similar makeup, and your whatever your community celebrates in terms of, you know, church or whatever, you know, doesn't really matter. That's another thing I've learned. Get off this denominational shit. And if you think, well, I worship the one true God, fuck you. Fuck you. You're part of the problem. You should be happy that Buddhists, Thai Buddhists, are far more conservative than you are in their country and their outlook. Way better than Christians. Way better. Especially fucking Catholics, man. Whew. Jesus. Pope doesn't suck cock. I sure looks like it. All right. It's just gonna get worse if I keep going. Plus, I'm almost here. Time to get back in the water. So that's 3 miles barefoot. 1 kilometer, 3 kilometers barefoot walking, 1 kilometer breaststroke, and that's 4. And so it's time to do the last half a kilometer back in the water, and I'll be finished. Okay. Hey, yeah, this shit riles me up. Bye. So that's the refreshment after finishing. Chilled coconut with a spoon, coconut water, along with the highest source of saturated fat in food known to man, the coconut. There you go.